Today I wanted to do something a little different. I spend a fair amount of time on YouTube, as you might as well, and I look at a lot of videos people are putting out about narcissism because I'm interested, I'm learning, I'm on this journey, and I'm also interested in what other people are doing, what's getting views, what is driving interest, and there are a ton of videos out there about how bad, how evil, how demonic even narcissists are, and how the victims of narcissistic abuse are these terrible victims and need all this assistance to resolve their victimhood and so forth and so on. And I know I'm being a little dismissive. There's probably a lot more to some of these videos, but let me tell you, some of them are quite disturbing. Anyhow, before we dive in, make sure you subscribe, give some likes, some thumbs up, and some comments. I love to interact with you guys in the comments. And so I found this video that you see over there in my screen of a gentleman whose name is Kyle Inspires, or at least that's his channel. And I wanted to share this video and give my input on some of his takes, because though maybe it's not his point, because I don't know exactly what his reason was for making this video, I think some of the things he mentions are very illustrative of some of what I've been sharing about on this channel, coming from the perspective of the narcissist. He's not, I don't believe so. He's coming from more of the perspective of the therapist, I suppose. I really don't know anything about this fellow, so I don't mean anything personal by it. I just found his video here and I was struck by it and thought it'd be a great thing to share with you guys and just have a little bit of my insight watching somebody talk about how the narcissist brain works from not being a narcissist. So let's jump in. Forgive me if there's some technical difficulties here, but I think I understand how this works. Okay, here we go.
Everyone's calling everyone a narcissist now, but actual narcissistic personality disorder is a brain difference most people don't understand. And understanding it might be the only way to protect yourself.
Okay, so I love where he starts with that it's, one, everybody's calling everybody else a narcissist, and that it's not just something we decide to do, it's actually a brain difference. Now, protecting yourself from danger, I don't know, but here we go.
The narcissistic brain has measurably less gray matter in the left anterior insula, the part responsible for empathy and emotional regulation. They're not choosing to lack empathy. Their brain literally has less hardware for it. It's like being colorblind, but for emotions. But here's what matters for your safety. Their brain processes shame like physical torture. When you set a boundary or criticize them, their amygdala responds like you're literally attacking them. That rage isn't calculated. It's their nervous system in survival.
In survival mode is what he was going to say there. And I think this is a great description of actually how it works. I never, in my earlier life, before I sort of woke up to my narcissism and started to understand it, I didn't know this is what was going on, because it's not a conscious process. When you're in survival mode, that's the only thing that matters. You don't have time or space to analyze your thoughts or your considerations or your feelings or any of these things. You got to literally survive. And this is where it touches into PTSD, because it's very similar to a PTSD response. Well, in fact, it is a PTSD response.
Survival mode. This doesn't excuse it, but it explains why reasoning doesn't work. The manipulation that feels so personal, it's actually automatic. Their brain learned early that controlling others' perceptions was survival. They're not playing 4D chess. They're running childhood software that says, if people see the real me, I'll die.
So, again, this is a great explanation. I so appreciate his perspective and how he's sharing it so straightforward and not coloring it with, how evil and bad intentioned and destructive narcissists are purposefully. It's really true. It's not like 4D chess type of strategy, though there is some strategicness to it that we learn over time as a narcissist. It's really about survival. And let's go on.
This isn't about sympathy. It's about strategy. You can't therapy someone into growing brain matter. You can't love them into empathy. Their brain is doing exactly what it's structured to do. Your compassion won't heal them. It'll just make you available supply.
Now, this I got to draw a little bit of a divergence from his perspective here. And yes, you can't therapy somebody into changing. You can't love them into changing. You can't use compassion to change another person. But that's true of anybody, not just narcissists. However, what we do know about neurology and brain science is that the brain is plastic, meaning it's changeable. While yes, my gray matter in that part of my brain is less than a normie's, and it likely will always be less, that doesn't mean that it's not changeable, that I can't grow that brain matter, that I can't, through conscious effort and attention and repetition and awareness, make changes to my brain that will allow me to actually grow that muscle of empathy. So I appreciate his description, though where he's going with it, I have a little bit of a difference with, because where this goes is that hopeless avenue that all of those videos that are like, narcissists are the devils, you can't change a narcissist, here's how to manipulate a narcissist, here's how to save yourself from a narcissist. One of the underlying messages or overriding messages, I guess, in that is narcissists are bad and there's nothing you can do, there's nothing they can do to change themselves, and basically dehumanizes us as narcissists. We're not worthy of your attention, love, and care. Now, I'm not excusing the downfalls and the outcomes of the behaviors of a narcissist, because why? Why would we do that? It's not personal to the person on the other end. However, there are real life outcomes of that. But the level of victimhood that is expressed in our collective culture of the people who get in relationship with narcissists is quite extreme. And as we know, any basic sort of human self-development or, more modern understanding even of psychology is that there's no interaction or relational interaction, particularly in intimate relationships, that occurs without both sides. So it's not that one person is a victim and one person is a perpetrator. There's an interplay. If you learn any of the stuff about trauma and trauma theory and stuff like that, it's this whole idea that we'll always attract a partner to us that will trigger our deepest insecurities. And the point isn't to then be destroyed by that. The point is, and why we do that, why our brain does that for us, is to allow us to heal completely. Likewise, if you've attracted a narcissist, there's something of value, something you can gain from that. Something about their journey in life as a narcissist is a remedy, precisely, exquisitely so, for your challenges and things that you could develop and grow in yourself to become a more whole, full person.
Understanding this isn't to excuse them. It's to release yourself from trying to fix them. They're not evil or good. They're neurologically limited in ways that make relationships dangerous for you.
Okay, so I love that. They're not evil, they're not good. They're just neurologically limited in ways that make relationships, I would say, challenging, different perhaps, dangerous. This really dives us, or leads us back down to that road of the innocent victim being perpetrated on by the narcissist. And I'm not saying that never happens, right? I mean, certainly that can happen. It can happen with any sort of condition pattern set, not just narcissists. There's nothing special about narcissists in this way, that some people do consciously and purposely perpetrate abuse on another. However, you can't be the victim without looking in the mirror yourself. Now, people might not like that. Okay, that's my perspective, my understanding of how the world works. So this whole idea of it being dangerous for you, I don't know.
I have deeper content about protecting yourself from various relationship patterns in my subscriber videos, link right here. But remember, understanding narcissism is for your protection, not their redemption.
So, and he's obviously trying to promote his own content, which I have no problem with. I totally get that. I promote my own content. But the idea that there's this protection that you need, it's not really the point. It's really a primitive way of looking at people in the world, and really something that I'm working in this channel to help illuminate and bring to light, that narcissists are people too. We are equally deserving of love, compassion, intimacy, closeness with other humans as any other human who has any other shortcomings, which we all do. And the responsibility for me as a narcissist is, if I want that in my life, if I want love, if I want relationships that are satisfying and promote care, I have to do the work myself to not be operating unconsciously, to become conscious, to become aware, to make changes, to learn how to be a whole person. But this idea that there's some danger, and understanding narcissism as a non-narcissist in order to protect yourself from the danger, it's very destructive, really. It's actually, when I really think about it, it's actually the people doing this, saying these messages, are really actually doing the very thing that they're warning against. And here's what I mean. As a narcissist, as somebody waking up and on this journey, home, journey back to my full self, understanding my brain differences and how to operate in the world in a way that's worthwhile for me and allows me to have relationships and so forth. A lot of that content, the tremendous amount of content out there is really giving me the message that it's hopeless, that I'm evil, that I can't change, that I shouldn't even try, that basically people around me should leave and get away from me. And if I do anything to try to have people not go away from me and not leave me, then I'm manipulating and I'm evil. And, here I am making all this content. I work diligently to understand myself, and all of the strategies and practices I've shared with you guys and will continue to share are things I've been using in my own life. I haven't shared anything with you guys that I haven't used and haven't found success with. And my message is really there's hope. There's hope for people like me. I can see the hope, the light at the end of the tunnel, the hope that I can have a more fulfilling life, that I'm not locked into this dissatisfying way of living destructive, of my whole life around me because of narcissism, and I just got to give up. I mean, that's like a terrible, hopeless message. But that is the messaging we get from the ending of this video, and many, many videos as well, that basically the thing you do with narcissism and people with NPD is you educate other people about it so they don't get fooled by them anymore, and we outcast them essentially. And I just don't think that's a way to treat other human beings. All right, wanted to divert from our usual content, give you a little bit of a different thing. I'll probably do a few more of these. It's my first one like this. I'll get better at, smoother at it. But I appreciate you watching. Give some likes. Remember to subscribe. Give some comments. What do you think about this? What do you think about what this guy's saying, what I'm saying in response to it, and that messaging? But also, are you interested in this kind of content? Would you want me to make some more videos where I respond to some of the things? I went with this one because it's sort of less inflammatory, and I appreciated some of his points. It's a balance. I want to have a balanced view. I don't want to just throw people's videos up there and just trash them. Though I will say, I have seen some videos out there that I'm tempted to do that with because they're so ridiculous. And, they have thousands of views of people learning about how narcissists are, possessed by devils and things like that. So let me know in the comments below, and I appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one.